racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going around the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to him!
Oh my God! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Welcome to Ozicar Skip Barber Series here on Simspeed TV, and what an interesting round it is going to be tonight. Get ready, round 4 on the USA Speedway Dirt in the Skip Barbers. We've done some oval racing last season that maybe made the iRacing top 10. This could go either way, but regardless, you're not going to want to miss a minute of it. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Haynes, Jason Fewens alongside me, and Jay Kennedy on production. Jason, some heats and a feature ahead of us on what is always a very evolving dynamic dirt surface.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night tonight. A lot of these drivers haven't got a lot of dirt track experience, so it could go either way. We could have some amazing racing here tonight, or it could be a bit of a wreck fest, and it could be a long night for some of these drivers. But either way, we're here right until the checkered flag drops tonight, and pretty keen to see how the whole thing's going to evolve.
So this is a look at our championship standings after the halfway point. Alex John leading James Chastanoff by 9 points. Alex John looking for back-to-back championships there, but he is very closely pursued by another very dogged rival in James Chastanoff. Got Sean Doyle, Ben Snell, Matthew Mites, Alex McKellar, Darren Toon, Russell Clark, Nathan Verney, and Neil Gardner making up our top 10 in the points at this stage of the championship. But my goodness, it could throw a spanner in the works here on the dirt.
Yeah, the cat amongst the pigeons, as they say, but we've seen ovals throw up a few surprise results in the past, albeit on tarmac. So Ira, in typical Aussie car format, thinking outside the square, has well and truly exceeded his expectations tonight, and throwing dirt into the mix is just going to make things all the more unpredictable.
So, heat time. Drivers are going to line up. They're going to have their laps behind the pace truck, and then we're going to go racing. And it already looks like it'll be a relatively slick track in places. For qualifying, it looks like our front row is going to be Braden Martin and Alex McKellar, then Ben Snell and Sean Doyle, Nathan Verney and Brody Cook. Behind that for row number 4, Matthew Harriott and Craig Kermond, Russell Clark and Matthew Mites, James Chastanoff starting a little deep in the field alongside Darren Toon.
Yeah, a few names there we normally see up the pointy end, so the dirt's mixed things up. Jeremy Bush, Harrison Mitchell there side by side off row number 7. Alex John and Simon Dobner, row number 8 side by side. John Snell, Liam Banks together they round out row number 9. Leon Williams and Ash Knowles side by side on row number 10 tonight. Peter Wilkinson and Ira Felberg, they seem to be joined at the hip everywhere they go at the moment. So row 11 tonight. Neil Gardner and Jamie Willett round out our top 24 and make up row 12 this evening as we get towards the end of the grid formation, and we are missing a couple waiting for them to make their way up before we get underway and the lights drop and go green tonight.
I reckon it'd be Ben Snell inside line on the second row that we're missing at the minute. You can see the front row there, Braden Martin and Alex McKellar here at USA International Speedway. I think got to be one of the larger of the dirt tracks. There's certainly some shorter ones than here where we do run down a decent length straight into the hairpins at either end. Pace truck is going to pull away and our grid are going to follow along with it, try to feel out the circumstances a little bit if they can. It'll be 15 minutes or 33 laps, so I think we'll get to 33 laps in this heat. That of course then will set the grid for a 66 lap feature race.
Looks like we've got Sean Doyle there trying to warm up his tyres on the dirt. Don't know how successful that's going to be for him tonight, but he falls back into formation now with a little bit of a wiggle. He seems to be the only one that's gone down that path, so maybe it's just old habits die hard.
Just checking that the wheels connected or something. Who knows? That was a problem that some have had in weeks past. I do think it's 2 formation laps here, so it's 1 to green, pace truck in at the end of this one for our field. 25 cars, of which there were 24 qualifying times. So we got Darren Lasue on the back of the field. We do, so I think we ought to have 25 on track for this one. Braden Martin is going to have that inside where it's going to be quite slippery, but on the flip side, it's the inside. So it's going to be pretty close as he starts to check them up a little bit on the back straight here, waiting for that pace truck to pull in 3 and 4 to get us underway. Already thinking about how he's going to start this one, giving himself some space. More grip up high, but it's a shorter distance down low, and that is a track that is already quite worn in, if you ask me, with 33 laps to go. Pace truck in now. Braden Martin doesn't have much time to wait at all because the green flag is out and we get racing here at USA Dirt. Already someone way out of sorts in one of the Milo machines, and McKellar going for the lead. Way more speed up high. I think he'll come off the corner better as well, and he could lead, but from down low, Ben Snell trying to make it 3 wide.
Yeah, not something you traditionally try and do on the dirt. We've seen him manage that on tarmac in these skippies in quite wide tracks in the past, but cars moving around a lot more obviously on the dirt, and just haven't quite got that confidence to hold that tight line that you're used to. So game man at this early is going to go 3 wide into any of these corners.
Good look on board with Sean Doyle as he rides up a little higher than some others, trying to find that grip and that momentum and that speed all the way up top. A lot of other drivers looking a little bit lower than him and getting a little bit more sideways doing it, and of course that scrubs off the speed as well. These aren't massively horse-powered cars. We're not dealing with 600, 700 horsepower sprint cars. We're dealing with 150 horsepower or so. That's right at the back there. It looks like Dobner and Wilkinson.
Yeah, Peter opting to tow and get off that racing line as soon as he possibly could. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's got too much damage and whether he can actually get back out and get some laps under his belt and actually register as a finisher in this one.
With a worn-in track, they are loose up the front, trying to keep it on the rails at this low line. And there's a bit of a contact, bit of a check-up, and Ben Snell gets some help from his teammate Brody Cook. Braden Martin tags the wall all on his own. Sean Doyle comes through into 3rd, and Alex McCallum will be happy to see that happening early, and he can hopefully get away. He'll be hoping, I'm sure.
Yeah, we jump on board with our pole sitter at the moment. Braden Martin looking back here into P3. So just a couple of weeks ago I said Braden wasn't quite the qualifying performance that we'd expect out of him, and he's made me eat my words tonight. He wasn't here last week, so first week back, put it on pole tonight, so I'm eating a little bit of humble pie.
There we go. So McKellar leading just 4 tenths at the moment, but they really seem to stack up as the speed bleeds off in the middle of the corners here. Braden Martin's got Sean Doyle right with him. Ben Snell right behind them, and they do check up. They do make more contact, and it's another incident through the middle of the corner here. The check up carrying on, and Ben Snell, Harrison Mitchell have all got a bit of damage. That's Harrison Mitchell there with wheels off the wagon.
Yeah, Harrison Mitchell there, I think, is becoming a victim of circumstance and getting caught up in that little incident. As a result, the yellow flag's now been thrown, so McKellar's going to pull up the field, and they'll get back into formation as we clean up the track, and we'll get this event back underway. We're only 7 laps of the 33, so this is our first caution, so hopefully it'll be our first and last of race number 1 tonight.
Yeah, it's that huge sort of check-up that seems to occur at the apex of the corners here as they really slow down and wipe off a lot of speed on the slick up against the wall. We'll take another replay of how it happened here. Doyle comes in pretty close, gets underneath Martin, checks up, and then Ben Snell even further checked up, gets tagged by Harrison Mitchell, and then I'm pretty sure that would have been Brody Cook. It's then coming there. Plenty of rear wings sitting on the dirt there in that corner.
Stewards will have a bit of a clean up to do. There looks like there's body parts all around the place at the moment, probably enough to make another Skip Barber. So we'll get underway as soon as we can. The cars will all get back into formation. There won't be a lot of time for cars to duck into the pits and get any repairs done. It'll be not long before we'll get back underway again.
Top 10 running right now. McKellar, Martin, McKellar, Martin, Doyle, Chastano, Fernie, John, Clark, Harriet, Bush, and Jamie Willits, I think, as we're going to get some wave rounds happening right now. We're also going to get a 2-wide restart, potentially.
Yeah, I think that's what Chassie's trying to do. I thought it might be single, but it looks like Chassie's trying to make it 2 wide for the restart.
No rear wing for Sean Doyle. He might be getting sent to the back. I think probably one of the people least happy with this is going to be Alex McKellar, because suddenly it checks everyone up behind him when he was happy to leave all of the nonsense and the shenanigans and the bashing and crashing in his mirrors. But we are going to get racing here. Alex McKellar, Braden Martin going to lead them away. Sean Doyle hanging back a bit there. Chastity and Vernie, and that's the rest of the field coming through. And here was an aggressive look from Doyle, or is he having to drop back here? Because Chastanov's up into third. Vernie's going to be the next.
Yeah, Doyle's ducked down to the inside line, so I think he is trying to let the field by with a minimal interference at the moment. Ducking in, hitting the pit wall, missed the pit entry. If in fact that's what he was aiming for.
Not 100% sure, but we are starting to see some 2 lanes happen on this restart, at least in the mid-pack there for the battles. And up front, McKellar and Martin, and then John and Vernie here, your championship leader. Down low, ultra sideways. Nathan Vernie up high, also very sideways, is going to lose even more momentum relatively.
Yeah, the back of Vernie's car kicking out on the exit of turn number 4 there, so he just lost all that momentum that he was carrying through the mid-corner. And that's just allowed the Alex John in front just to pull those couple extra car lengths, and all of a sudden he's not quite the threat that he was.
Liam Banks in the wall, big time, and someone else there with him as well. John Snell.
So no yellow at this stage, so it looks like Liam's well and truly up off the racing line up against the wall. Either that or he's still moving, so we've still got racing underway here at the moment, and the action up the front. It sees Top Split TV leading the Locked On Lads car of Braden Martin, and there's a big gap now back to Chastin, off sitting back 2.5 seconds off the lead. So this is where the action is at the moment, and probably a good spot to be out front because all the carnage can happen behind, and good chance to keep a clean car.
Two tenths in this lead, super close between McKellar and Martin. Alex John leads a bit of a train back in 4th as well, but this is not only points paid here for this heat, championship points paid, but then also setting the grid for that feature. So important in both ways. This is John, championship leader in 4th. Remember, his key rival right now is Chastanov up in 3rd. So the way things go, this would be a point swing towards Chastity, but only ever so slightly. By that measure, John, I think, doesn't want to lose out too many spots in the remainder of this race.
No, we do still have 7 minutes of racing to go, and at the moment there's clean track in front of these leading 2 out the front, but there is a potential that lap traffic could play a factor as the laps count down. So unless, of course, we get another safety car and they all bunch up again, but at the moment it looks like Alex McKellar out in front with Braden Martin shadowing every single move that he makes, just waiting for an opportunity to stick his nose in and put it down the inside.
Yeah, then that looks tough to do. I think the overspeed necessary is pretty significant because it seems like the fastest line is all the way down there at the wall and at the apron. So you can't go around someone and you can't slide job down the inside of them because they're already defending that inside, which is in of itself the fastest line. So that's making passing look pretty difficult, but with the the overspeed that Martin has got, it might just be possible. And we're seeing slick down low can lead to a lot of mistakes, and that could potentially lead to a pass happening. You're not quite seeing double, I mean you are, but Alex John trying to hold off Nathan Verney in fourth on the right-hand side of your screen there as well.
The secret here is to try and carry as much speed on the exit of these corners, but not.
The secret is to try to carry as much speed on the exit of the corners without something, says Jason Fewens. So definitely here on the dirt that it's challenging the grip and how much slide angle they can carry without losing the rear and it kicking out like we saw kind of cost Nathan Verney some momentum. Chastanoff very solidly just running in third at the moment. Needs to start picking up some wins to challenge for the championship again. As it stands right now, a 9-point gap would close to, what, a 7-point gap?
Yeah, something like that. I'm back again now. Looks like my boom mic actually fell off the stand, so that's why I went quiet for a minute, but we're back on board again. So, yeah, Chastanoff sitting ahead of John on track at the moment, so that's going to close that little gap. We are in round 4 of 6 in this series at the moment, so we are literally just on the halfway mark of the season, so still plenty of racing ahead of us throughout the season before we crown another champion, so every little point you can gain at this point of the season is going to be critical at the pointy end.
Martin challenging McKellar for the lead still, and look at how gnarly some of those bumps are that are forming on the exit of these corners. So it's slippery and super slick through the middle, and then the dirt build up on the exit, they sort of hop onto the straight, and that's the battle for the lead on the left. And on the right, Nathan Verney trying to do his teammate James Chastanoff a favour here if he can get around Alex John and therefore help Chastity close that points gap.
These guys out in front doing a really, really good job. These cars, we do get a little bit of drift in these cars on the tarmac, and they're really not designed for the dirt. But at the moment, these drivers out front are putting on a showcase performance, absolutely nailing every single corner at the moment, making minimal mistakes. So I dare say a lot of practice has gone in the lead up to this event, being a bit of a obscure one. Looks like a bit of lap traffic coming up here as well, as he gets on the inside and gets out of the way.
I was going to say no worries at all for our leader, but this is the most of a look that Braden Martin's got, having to be so cautious on the inside there that he doesn't lose control and end up in the side of Alex McKellar. So McKellar just manages to hold on because of that. Now in the battle for fourth though, Nathan Verney side by side with Alex John. Verney just not carrying that speed up high that he's been trying to. Alex John is just going to hold on to it. Russell Clark behind them, sticking with the battle. They've managed to drop Matthew Harriott and Jeremy Bush and Jamie Willits and Ashley Knowles, the remainder of the top 10. Clark's got a good view of the battle for fourth here and a good view of the traffic as well. Goes high. Russell Clark tries to come in high as well. And this could be a compromised line off the exit for John, but it's equally compromised for Verney and Clark as the car just won't straighten up on those exit bumps.
Laps running out here tonight in race number 1. There's 7 to go as the leader crosses the line to complete the next lap. So opportunities are dwindling away. So it's a matter of collecting points and securing a position, or do you stick your nose in and, like I said before, every little point counts. So if you've got the championship in mind, it's a bit of a battle at the moment. Which way are you going to go?
Almost an attempt at a slide job from Russell Clark there, and both he and Nathan Verney much higher on the exit of the corner than Alex John. John driving it relatively conservatively for reasons that you can kind of understand from the championship leader. Just under 2 minutes left in this one, underneath 5 laps to go. I think Martin might just have the overlap here for the lead. He's got his nose in front for the lead, does Braden Martin, and he's, I think, going to get it.
Yeah, got his nose down the inside. He's going to cover on the exit as he covers across and pulls over in front of McKellar there. So new leader with 5 laps to go.
Yep, just the nick of time to take that lead away. Braden Martin, is he still winless in Aussie car competition up to this point? If he is, I've gone and put the jinx on him. Through the traffic they go between Martin and McKellar. And again, for all the reasons that it was tough for Martin to get to the lead, it's tough for McKellar to get it back. You just got to go cautious into the corners, follow that low line, and make sure you maximize the exit. But he's not cautious on the way in. He gets a better exit, though. Braden Martin.
Yeah, well, Martin out in front exactly where you want to be with a few laps remaining. It's easier to be out in front at the moment. Stick to your lines, hit your apexes, and get that good drive off the corner and make the car behind take those little risks. So potentially they're the ones that might have the spin, and then you'll drive away and gather the biscuit, the chocolates and the points.
More traffic, though, for them. Oh, how's this going to split for Braden Martin? He has to jump down the racetrack in front of Alex McKellar, and McKellar then has an opportunity to the inside here. Is he going to be able to grab drive from that position, or is he going to be able to hold the overlap? They are side by side as they come to the start of the final lap. Martin up high on the slippery stuff, has to be so aggressive here if he's going to try to crowd out McKellar, and he just manages to do it through the middle of the corner. He's back to the lead with just turns 3 and 4 left in the heat of Ozicar at USA Dirt. So now it's all about the exit. The traffic, not going to be a problem. The checkered flag waiting, and Braden Martin is going to grab a win in Ozicar.
Yeah, pole setter there managed to fight his way back onto the top step of the podium there, right when it counted towards the end. James Chastanoff crossing the line there in third ahead of McKellar, and that rounds out your top 3. Position number 4 tonight did actually go to Alex John, so a great result from him, up from 15 where he qualified. So probably one of our biggest movers in the field tonight.
I can hear Braden Martin screenshotting this right now. He's at the top of the results from the heat. Braden Martin taking the lead away from Alex McKellar, and both of them very consistent all night, but showing that a bit of passing is possible on the dirt here. James Chastanoff, quiet one after the restart in third. Alex John in fourth, had to fend off Verney and Clark. And then Matthew Harriott, Jeremy Bush, Jamie Willits, and Ash Knowles are the top 10.
Yeah, some familiar names in the top 10 tonight, and a couple of guys that'll be very, very keen to get some great results there. So Matthew Mites out of 11, Leon Williams 12 tonight. Ira Felberg doing a good job, rounding out 13. Darren Lasue from the back of the field, not putting in a qualifying time, paid off, so he's up to 14th tonight. Great job for him, and also being the last car on the lead lap. Then it was John Snell, Craig Kerman, Darren Toon. Liam Banks 21 laps down. Sean Doyle after his end-of-line penalty there in P19, and Neil Gardner rounding out the top 20.
Brody Cook also involved in that incident we saw alongside Harrison Mitchell. Ben Snell retirement, Dobner and Wilkinson getting into each other pretty early in the race as well. My oh my, what an interesting heat race we have had. Points awarded from race number 1. Now it sets the grid for the feature coming up shortly. Take an itty bitty break here on Simspeed TV and thank supporters of Ozicar Formula Skip Barber Series who make the championship and the broadcast possible. Of course, it's Locked On iRacing podcast, Prestige Trophy Badge and Engraving, and 24/7 Race Control. Stick with us. In a minute, we're back with the feature race, Skip Barber's on the Dirt at USA.
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Hey everyone, the USF 2000 is a blast to drive now, and here's your chance to learn it quickly. From my tutorial, VRS created a free bonus track guide for the Laguna Seca circuit, where you can learn exactly what I do in every corner to improve your lap times and get faster on track. You'll learn how to easily recognise brake markers, you'll find out which curves to attack and which ones to avoid, you'll know when to use the full track and when a sequence of corners requires a compromise. And you'll learn how hard to brake and when to lift. The VRS Quick Reference track maps are available free to download and delivered each week to your inbox. The entire global MX-5 series is available, as well as bonus maps like this one and many more. So if you're a new racer, or a veteran, or just anyone who wants to learn how to get faster sooner, the VRS track guides are for you. Just hit the link or button on screen and get yours today.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got tracks and he's done with the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
And we're back at USA Speedway Dirt, ready for the feature race of Aussie Car Formula Skip Barber Series tonight. Race 1, the heat. The short race was very interesting, passing proving quite difficult, and a couple of cars collecting each other out there. But then, what a battle we had for the lead, going back and forth, and neither driver could really gain an inch until Braden Martin came through for the win.
Yeah, some great driving there on display tonight, not only up the front but right through the field, with a couple of drivers making their way and gaining some really good positions, with some unfortunate drivers losing out big time as well. So if you qualified up the front of the last one and you had a bad result, you're going to find yourself deep in the field for the 66 lap feature here tonight. So some drivers to keep an eye on that'll be very deep in the field tonight. So we are not having a compulsory pit stop this evening, so the drivers are required to put in a lot more fuel to get them home. As we have a quick look at our starting grid, I'll throw over to you, Dave.
Yep, it's as they finished. Race number 1, Braden Martin now starting on the front row alongside Alex McKellar. James Chastanoff and Alex John for row number 2, then Nathan Verney and Russell Clark. Important for Alex John, that race number 1, as he moved himself a bit further up towards the pointy end though. And Matthew Harriott, Jeremy Bush sharing row 4. Willits and Knowles on row 5. Matthew Mites and Leon Williams are going to start that row number 6.
Yeah, Philberg and Darren Lassou, row number 7 tonight. John Snell, Craig Kerman behind those two. Darren Toon and Liam Banks make out row number 9 as we scroll back towards the rear part of the field. And behind Liam Banks, we have Leon Williams and, Sean Doyle, Neil Gardner, Brody Cook, Ben Snell. One of those ones along with Brody Cook to look out for. Harrison Mitchell will be another one driving his way back through the field, and Simon Dobner off the back row.
2 formation laps behind the truck they are going. One more formation lap this time around. Watchful eye of Barney, who apparently loves chicken wings. So it seems. So then one more, what is it, half mile here? Lap on the dirt, and I'm looking at the condition of the track in the turns here, and I think it's
Carried over from race 1?
No, but I'm thinking it's very similar to the start of race 1. We do have a big slick, and I think that makes it, more difficult for anyone to run higher up the track.
So cars are just about ready back in formation. Looks like there's been a little bit of contact back in the field. Just in my ear, I can hear some of the drivers in the chatter. So Ben Snell's involved in that. So we might have to look at that once the race gets underway and see what possibly happened. But we are ready to exit turn number 4 and get this race underway.
Braden Martin kept him waiting a long time in race number 1, and that bit him as McKellar came around the outside. In race number 2 here, squirrely trying to put the power down. In fact, look at a whole heap of them sliding down low as they try to light up the rear tyres, heading in towards racing competition for the first time. Martin's managed to hold on to that lead. McKellar's still in second. Alex John slid up all the way high, but still managed to hold on to 4th.
Yeah, just a quick capture there of Chassis catching a tank slapper halfway through lap number 1, so he's got to back things under control now, back in P number 3, but a scary moment there on the opening lap for our championship contender.
Liam Banks and Neil Gardner and Harrison Mitchell are in the pit lane already. I think there's been, that's a result of some of the carnage a little deeper in the field. Racing going on here, though, as Sean Doyle is plus 10 positions trying to race his way back to the front after that poor finish in heat number 1. Busy lining up right behind here. Matthew Harriet, he's trying to get a run on. Harriet exits very low, which blocks Doyle from going where he was thinking of going. Now, on the entry here, Doyle can look low again, but didn't have the momentum after being balked on the exit. A similar thing might happen, but he's wise to it this time, and he's going to look to get down the inside here. You've got to be so careful throwing the car in fast and furious on a skinny line like that, though, that the rear doesn't step out on you. The rear steps out just a little bit for Matthew Harriet, though, and that's another position gained for Sean Doyle, as it's going to be a Martin and McKellar show out the lead again, it looks like.
Yeah, at the moment, a lot of slide jobs happening back in the field, a bit further deeper than up the front at the moment, but nothing of really real contact coming out of that. So we have a quick look here at the replay on the right hand side of the restart, and I think it's Neil Harrison in there getting a bit slappy happy, and the contact there with the back of the Milo car looks like it's about to be inevitable. This is what we could hear the drivers having a chat about in the ear. Bang, there you go, straight into the back of Harrison Mitchell there, I think it is, where he's losing his wing and gets turned the wrong way.
Harrison Mitchell in the back of Brody Cook there after Mitchell was 3 wide down the inside there on the formation lap. Racing conditions, though, Braden Martin's your leader, Alex McKellar in second. Chastanoff and Alex John going to lock horns over 3rd place, and behind them, Doyle trying everything to keep moving forward. He's gotten Bush and Verney since we looked last. He's trying to line up behind Russell Clark now, get himself back in towards the top 5. So the duo that battled for the win in race number 1 are going to do it again in race number 2. Our championship protagonists are going to battle over that final step of the podium. You've got a very aggressive Sean Doyle making his way through this mid-pack, which was oh so close in race number 1 as well.
Yeah, 7 laps deep into a 66 lap race here at the moment. We have a quick look at the battle between Doyle and Clark, battling for 5th and 6th at the moment, less than half a second separating them. So after Doyle's end of line penalty in race number 1, he is back on the pace and nipping at the heels of the top 5 at the moment, back where he wants to be.
John and Chastanoff. Alex John's got himself back ahead. Your championship leader, a nose in front, could all swap back the other way, trying to carry speed up top there. It gets so slippery. And I think Chasty's in the position to pick up the throttle a little earlier, but then it all comes back around and they remain side by side through the next sequence of corners. It does feel like Alex John might be winning out here, but it's never quite settled until a couple runs through this corner and you can see who gets all the way clear to then block off the other.
Yeah, it just takes one of these cars, hit the bump at the wrong angle, and all of a sudden it could either turn in your favour or go against you in a dramatic fashion. So still going side by side. This is going into the 3rd lap now where they're still challenging each other, making it too wide. So no driver giving an inch, but it looks like Chastanoff's done just enough to get his nose in front, pulls across the front of Alex John there and gets the job done.
Yeah, after a couple of consecutive corners running that low line, eventually he managed to get clear to then park it up in front of John. But we saw John drove himself into this position to fight for that again, and now he's gone over under through turns 3 and 4. Into 1 and 2 they go, and it's Alex John all the way down low against the wall. Chasty's going to have to try to do the same right back at him, and is, to get side by side. The longer this goes on, the closer Sean Doyle gets behind, because he's gotten ahead of Russell Clark. So this could bring in any number of drivers into the podium fight if they keep going side by side like this. You can see Clark and Bush particularly closing up on this fight.
Yeah, 2's about to become 5 if they keep this up here. Long way to go at the moment, but both of these guys are battling for championship points, thinking about the big picture here at the moment. So we're driving very clean, giving each other a lot of room, showing a lot of respect, which is what Ozicar Skip Barber Racing is all about. But as a result, Sean Doyle is well and truly right on the back of this at the moment with Clark and Bush in tow. So it's going to be a 5-way battle for the final spot on the podium as we sit at the moment.
Had to hold my breath there as they got so close through the middle of that corner. Any one of them could have collided. Now here's an aggressive move to the inside from Alex John. He's got to be so careful, and he has to check up on the exit. Doyle has to check up on the exit. Russell Clark now has a chance to come back at them. And James Chastanoff looking a little lucky in 3rd, as now it's side by side. Clark trying to get the spot back from Sean Doyle. You can see how little grip he had with the big aggressive movements on the wheel, not causing much change of direction for the car.
Yeah, there's not a lot of rubber on these tyres, so there's not a lot of contact patched down onto the dirt. So there's a very, very easy to get this car sideways and lose a lot of that momentum, which is really, really critical in these low horsepower vehicles. So there's a bit of an art to this, and 3 wide at the moment. I'd rather be in the commentary box than out there amongst it, I think.
I'd rather be out there because you could do something about it rather than just sit watching, waiting for the inevitable as they keep stacking up here in this battle for 3rd. Doyle has gotten himself up into 4th, and if anything, Chastanoff could be in some trouble because Russell Clark is pretty well going to clear him through that sequence of corners there. A bit of traffic all the way up high. They'll be aware of that. No dramas there, and Doyle looking around the outside of John. Big risk, big reward potentially there as he's going to come off the corner really quickly in the battle for 3rd. Side by side them here. Chastanoff just trying to keep the inside on Clark, and they're not quite close enough to punish Doyle for his attempted move and getting offline and getting sideways.
Yeah, well, Chastanoff's philosophy on all the ovals we've been to has been hold that inside line, and it seems to be the quicker way at the moment for these drivers here, even on the dirt. But not that long ago, 3rd place battle was between 2 cars fighting for the final spot on the podium, and now it's down to 6. So these cars tripping over each other has just brought a heap more variables into this little battle pack at the moment. So it's great viewing, makes for exciting racing for us, but plenty of action out there on the track, and these guys have got to all have eyes in the back of their helmets.
Doyle so close to across the nose of Russell Clark there, but Doyle's got himself up into 3rd, and they're getting quicker somehow, as they keep wearing the track, they're getting quicker. Clark has set the fastest lap of the race. Not this lap, just gone, the one before. And Snell has just gone and eclipsed that now. So everyone's finding a lot more pace out there, not only as they get more comfortable, but there's a bit of slipstream on offer in places here as well. And Snell, of course, got... started this race not where he would have wanted, and now trying to work back. Doyle and Clark are going to fight over this podium position, and again, just keep everyone else within touching distance of the fight. Look at Alex John try to cut back underneath, try to get onto the grippy stuff down low on the exit. Requires compromising the speed in the middle, but if the other two are side by side in front of him, their speed's already compromised, so that gives him a good chance of attack.
Yeah, Jeremy Bush looking very, very hungry there, sitting in fifth in this little battle pack at the moment, just waiting for an opportunity if any of these cars in front just make a little bit of contact. So he and Bernie are sitting at the back of this pack, but it looks like Snell, I think, might be just about, I can see him in the background there, just about joining this, making it 7 cars.
Yeah, he's trying the way that he's racing, and also the way that the guys in front are racing. Russell Clark trying to get a nose down the inside once again, still side by side with Doyle. I could have sworn I saw Doyle on the outside fighting the oversteer, Russell on the inside fighting the understeer, as both of them were on, different grip parts of the track, just a car width apart.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a guaranteed fast line around here on this track at the moment, because there's lots of cars taking different variable options, looking for as much grip as they can possibly get. But it looks like they've almost fallen back into a single formation at the moment. So things are starting to settle down as we almost reach the halfway point of this second race here tonight. We're on lap 24 of 66.
Another personal best for Ben Snell, another fastest lap of the race at just past 1/3 distance. And look at him go in 9th, hooking to the back of this train for 3rd. It's not just clean air pace that you need, it's a bit of racecraft here to be able to set up the driver in front, make them defend somewhere that then lets you attack somewhere else. You see it, time and time again. It takes 3-4 laps for a move to get completed. If a driver can get down the inside and is faster down the inside, or whatever way they're making the move, it's never just done in one corner. Got to then keep fighting for it till eventually you get all the way clear and can take that spot. But Doyle's held on to 3rd for a minute. Up front, it's 1.1 seconds between Braden Martin and Alex McKellar, so Martin just getting a little bit clear there, but then there is a whole chunk of time between 2nd and 3rd. As you can see from the timing column, it is just, real bit of traffic right here around 3rd.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx this. We're on lap 27 to 66 now. We have not got a yellow flag in this race at the moment, but we have had a number of casualties and retirees. So Darren Clune, Darren Lassou, Jamie Willits, a heap of those drivers there. Williams, Banks, Gardner, you can see on the timing screen as well, number of laps down. So a couple of cars that have come to grief, but obviously managed to get off the track, off the racing line, into the pits without compromising the race that's unfolding in front of us.
Still mighty close here. Ben Snell's picked one spot in his march forward. Big move from Clark, and he just can't make it turn. Cannot make it turn down low there. Well, Doyle can and lets him keep more throttle in. Chastano fighting the same problem as he goes side by side with his key title rival Alex John. They're side by side another lap here.
Looks like Chassie's got the drive out of the corner and just got the nose in front. So one more corner he might be able to pull across, get that job done, get the move made, and then he can focus on the back of car number 7 in front of him of Russell Clark.
Aggressive entry from Chastity doesn't pay off for him there because he almost got clear, but then had to hold it down low on the exit. lets John get another good run, and there where the side-by-side action is at the moment. USA Speedway in the dirt.
So Doyle's still sitting in third, doing a really good job at the moment. He's looking
Snell
comfortable.
steals a spot there as well. Gets down the inside of Jeremy Bush, and then almost looked like he was going to take something away from James Chastanoff here. He's up high. What's he doing here? Rotate the car. Try to carry some speed up there for Snell. Look at those bumps on the exit. The car almost hops sideways as they, get loose over those, and he's still looking around the outside of Chastity here. Halfway point of the race now, 33 of 66 laps. So they are rushing through them now, and as you said, green flag all the way so far in this feature race. Snell charge backs off just a little bit. At the same time, Clark closing in on Doyle. So this third place on back is absolutely popping off.
Yeah, third through to ninth, separated by just under 2 seconds at the moment. So these cars here in a nice little gaggle pack. We jump on board. Matthew Mites now, he's joined the back of the train as well, so in position 10. So he's currently where he started this race, but he is in a very good position to watch everything unfold in front of him.
And they're still getting quicker. It's gone from 1 or 2 drivers managing to get in from the 25s into the 24s to now everyone in the top 10 on their last lap did a 24 something. And Ben Snell, I think, set the new fastest lap at 24.658. So they're just gradually picking up some pace still as they keep working the track here. Here's Clark with his nose in front of Doyle. Alex John, still championship leader. How does he treat this battle? How does he read it? Answer is he can't lift off, too much and roll over, or he'll get mugged by a whole bunch of people. But also, we know these championships are won by managing the risk, knowing where the risk is, and he's trying to get to the inside of Doyle. I think he will. He'll try to stay there on the inside line.
To minimise risk in this situation, you want to be out in front. So if there's any contact to cars behind, we saw a whole heap of cars get caught up in incidents in race number 1 when they were literally minding their own business. So in this situation, he wants to clear Doyle and clear Russell Clark and be leading this pack here and let the other guys trip over each other, and he can potentially drive away.
I can repeat the same thing with different names, because as Doyle and Alex John go side by side, James Chastanoff is watching, thinking, what do I do here? Except as the tailing driver in the championship, he's got to take a little bit more risk. If he plays it safe, he's not going to win this. And he's almost to the rear wheel there of Alex John. It makes him weak to Ben Snell, who throws it down the inside of him and is going to clear for that spot.
Yeah, it just shows what happens. Chastity getting a little bit checked up there on the back of Alex John, and as a result, half a lap later, Ben Snell getting the run on him and getting his nose in front, getting the job done. So
gap for the lead's down to nothing. It's been holding at 1.5 seconds for a long time, but all of a sudden, Alex McKellar is monstering Braden Martin. Oh, and from that third place pack, there has been some dramas. Ben Snell, his charge comes to an end as there's a bunch of damage on him. Point I was getting to is going green all the way. Do you think Braden Martin might be starting to run short on fuel?
Yeah, well, they did have to put in a large amount of fuel, which of course meant the cars were quite heavy at the start of the race, particularly compared to what they used to in the sprint races, where they are required to stop for fresh tyres at least, and that being a little bit shorter. But I reckon if they put anything more than probably 12 litres in, they were going to get home.
So here's what happened to Ben Snell. On the outside, behind John, with Chastity right behind. He throws it in, too much speed, so much speed, and then actually, I think John gets just a tiny millimetre loose as well, and that helps Ben Snell into the wall as he tried to come around the outside. Take another look at it. Snell from behind Alex John here into the corner. Snap of oversteer, snap of oversteer. To just touch.
Well, it was more than just a touch, but I think Alex John will be counting his lucky stars because he seems to be still out on track. All four wheels still circulating and he's still got his rear wing. So that could have been a huge factor in the championship as we have 2 rounds to go after this one. But as it plays, Alex John's still sitting in 7th position. He is a couple of positions back from his championship rival in P4, but minimising that damage.
The lead here, Martin and McKellar can catch some traffic in a second. Could have been traffic in the first place that brought them a little bit closer together. Different driving styles on the oval and on the dirt can often have much bigger differences to fuel consumption than on road courses. So drivers driving at different ways might end up at the same lap time, but drastically different, levels of fuel consumption.
So we have a quick look at the battle for the lead here at the front, separated by an absolute whisker, just under 0.2 of a second, almost half a car width, actually separating them as they exit the corner. And you can see on the...
Well, McKellar got down the inside, didn't he? And they're not quite clear of the traffic yet, which is sandwiching Braden Martin to a place he does not want to be, as he has to back out of it to make the car turn. Alex McKellar is into the lead. Martin's not giving up on it just yet, though. This, side by side for the lead with 20 to go. Still a long way in this race. And Martin down the inside. McKellar trying to do the switchback, and that's obviously starting to work the way that the track state is evolving.
Yeah, well, that was Craig Kerman there trying to get out of the one. Of course, you can't quite do exactly what you want to do on the dirt sometimes. So managing to make a minimal impact on the lead of the race here at the moment, but it could have easily turned pear-shaped rather quickly. So we have a quick look on the right-hand side. The battle for third is still ongoing, albeit some 10 or 11 seconds back off the leaders at the moment, which is nearly half a lap around here tonight. So there's a big gap between first, second, and then back to third through to 4, 5, 6 we're watching at the moment as well.
Big for the championship. Looks like Chastity is pretty much up into third here. Doyle's not giving up on it yet, but Doyle's also got Russell Clark down the inside of him, limiting his ability to try to switch back or change lanes to attack Chastity. Would have been a dead heat for the win there as you look for the lead battle as well. Oh, and there's contact between Doyle and Chastity. Doyle squeezing down a little bit, loses out. Russell Clark will get down the inside and be the winner of that one in the battle for third.
Yeah, a bit of a hop there by Doyle, but he's managed to regroup, regather, and he's right on the back of this. So not a lot of love lost there between the boys with a bit of accidental rubbing going on. But main thing is nobody ended up in the fence and we're all still facing the right way.
So it's really starting to heat up now. It's 16 laps to go. That means 50 done, and we are really into the closing stages here of Ozicar Skip Barber Series on the USA Dirt. The win is up for grabs. That final step on the podium is up for grabs and would be so important for James Chastanov's championship if he could hold on to it. A lot of really good dirt drivers right behind him here with Clark and Bush and Doyle and Alex John, critically his championship rival. McKellar looking pretty secure with that lead at the moment. Martin still trying to do those switchbacks, trying to cut more of the grippy stuff down low on the exit rather than trying to put the power down on the slick.
You can see Craig Kerman there in the background of these leaders here. You can see it on the left-hand side of your screen. So that pass where the leaders got by him happened probably 4 or 5 laps ago, but really he's hanging on to the back of them. So Craig Kerman showing really good speed at the moment with the potential to be battling for a position on the podium. But unfortunately, might have got caught up in some earlier instances and found himself at the back of the field and now off the lead lap.
John has stuck his nose back in front of Sean Doyle and has what's typically the preferred low line. Huge snap of oversteer there from Sean Doyle. Incredibly pointy car. It looks like he's racing with, and he drops to the back of the train here.
So the car of 07 Russell Clark right on the back of James Chastanoff, looking really, really racy here as we've got 12 laps to go, and we're getting down to the pointy end of our feature race here this evening on Simspeed TV. Looking for a way around the outside, but James Chastanoff knowing that the shortest way around the circuit is the inside, and in this current situation, it looks like it's almost the quickest as well.
Yeah, not just the shortest, but also potentially the grippiest. Good exit from Clark. Going to try to keep his nose there, but knows that if he went in with all that speed, the rear might just step out on him like it's done for some others, and he's got to be cautious as you go from the grippy bits onto the really slippery bits in the corner here, and it's causing a bit of a check-up at the apex, which might just benefit Alex John. It's also been one of the sources of crashes and accidents in race number 1. That concertina effect. The drivers don't really feel like they're, probably not slamming on the brakes or anything, but the loss of speed as they chuck it sideways does cause them all to get a little bit closer. Sean Doyle's experiencing that down low as he very, very nearly turned Jeremy Bush, and he very, very nearly does it again. The two are intertwined, I think, on the exit there. Bush will not give up. Fair enough to him. And up front there, Clark down the inside, almost into the side pod of Chastanoff. Chastanoff gets the good exit. First through to 7th, I think you wouldn't even start to write in pen until that final lap.
No, this little group here looks like it's coming onto the back of some lap traffic as well, so Peter Wilkinson just up the road. But Peter, being a seasoned veteran here in Ozicar, Skip Barber will no doubt do the right thing and let these guys through unimpeded. So we have a quick look at him now. Perfect view, you can see exactly what's happening as this little train zooms in onto the back of his rear wing.
Martin's trying to get that lead back, and he's down the inside, and he hooked a really grippy bit down low, then slid up into a more slippery section, and instead of one driver trying to hold it around the outside, they're kind of crossing over-under on each other here for the lead. McKellar doing it just a little bit more successfully than Braden Martin. 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go. It's really, really ticking down, getting more crucial. I think we'll see more of those attempted slide jobs as the slick section of the track gets wider.
Yeah, 6 to go now, so we literally down to the last stages of this 66-lap race. Really, you've got to start thinking about where you want to position your car, because the laps around here, they roll off sub 25 seconds almost. So they tick by pretty quick. And like you said, it takes 3 or 4 laps sometimes to get a pass done. So with 5 laps to go, now's the time you've really got to start making your move.
No doubt, battle for the lead just keeps ratcheting up that intensity. It spread out in the first half of the race. And Alex McKellar came back, grabbed that lead, and now look at them still side by side. 4 to go. Side by side for 3rd place as well. As they get through some of the traffic there, you just do not know where to look because it's all battles everywhere in the top 10 right now. 4 to go is going to become 3 to go for the leaders. And here is Russell Clark trying to steal a spot away from Chastanoff. They're going to make contact. Chastity so wide, is going to lose out big time. And he's going to lose out spots to his championship rival, Alex John, who suddenly threw into 3rd place. Up front, they are still side by side and neck, and it is too close to call who has the upper hand, who has the advantage. Across the line that time, it was McKellar's nose in front, but by the time they threw it into turn 1, Braden Martin had his nose in front and is finding increasing amounts of grip on this high line here. There's only a handful of corners left to go, and it's McKellar with the low line, with the nose in front as they go into 3 and 4. Out of that complex of corners to the white flag, 1 more to go. McKellar in front, Martin looking desperate. 1 and 2, Martin carries speed up high, looking across back underneath, but McKellar parks it right there where Martin would have wanted to go. Now it's slide job or nothing in 3 and 4.
Contact for 3rd position.
And that sent Russell Clark up into the fence as well, but for the win, for the checkered flag, McKellar just has himself in front of Martin. Doyle up into third, and there could yet be more problems here as Chassenov and Alex John nearly get into each other, and Chassenov will take just 1-2 more points out of Alex John.
Action and plenty. Doesn't matter where you look on this short dirt oval tonight. There was action happening and cars positions changing and unfolding before your very eyes. But that wraps up another race here tonight. Alex McKellar getting the job done at the drop of the checkered flag from Braden Martin this evening after a stellar performance there by those top two guys out in front. Good 10 seconds clear of the battle pack behind them as we watch the fireworks and the celebrations kick underway.
Absolutely. Fireworks over USA Dirt for your feature race winner, Stella McKellar. And you would have run your pencil all the way down trying to keep a tally of the lead changes there. It could have been 20 in the last 20 laps, maybe even more. McKellar comes up victorious in this one after Braden Martin took the win in race number 1. It was all action, all chaos behind them. Sean Doyle from 19th on the grid to stand on the podium in third. James Chassenov in fourth, just getting a spot back on the final lap from Alex John to finish one spot ahead of him once again. Jeremy Bush, Russell Clark, Matthew Mites, Matthew Harriott and Nathan Verney, our top 10 in the feature.
Yeah, top 10 separated by 15 seconds there, so it just goes to show you how close some of the racing was tonight. Ash Knowles out of P11, he was the last car on the lead lap, and then we look back, we saw Craig Kerman in plenty of the background shots of the battle for the lead there in the dying laps. Ira Felberg in P13, Simon Dobner out of finishing 14th tonight, 2 laps off the pace. Peter Wilkinson rounding out in P15, Ben Snell, Leon Williams, Liam Banks, Neil Gardner and Harrison Mitchell round out your top 20. Some of those guys after carnage before the lights even went green, so they're 66 laps down.
Yeah,
we've got Brody Cook in P21, Jamie Willits out of P22, Darren Lasue there. I don't think he actually started this race, either did John Snell or Darren Toon. So that rounds out another epic race to go down in the history books of the Ozicar Skip Barber Series here tonight.
And I bet the heart rate from some of the drivers still going as fast as it is up here for us watching that. And they're ready to speak to us. Alex McKellar, feature race winner. I ran out of fingers and toes to count the lead changes between yourself and Braden Martin there. It seemed like the high line could work, the low line could work. You were crossing back, over, under. Every line looked like it opened up by the end there.
Yeah, mate, it did. Look, firstly, congrats to Ira. It was a very interesting and having a different look at something that we do all the time's a lot of fun. So, hats off to him. Yeah, look, and the racing with Braden was brilliant. And I don't do a lot of the dirt stuff, and I know Braden doesn't either. So we were fortunate. We had a bit of practice during the week side by side doing pretty much what you saw there tonight. So I had a lot of confidence in Braden, both inside and out. And it led to sort of, the action that I hope was good to watch.
And not big tyres, not a lot of horsepower, but it still looked like you moved enough of the dirt that the lines and how you could pass and how you could attack and the lap times changed from start to finish.
Yeah, the temperature in the tyres made a dramatic difference. It's like you're driving a different car, in all honesty. I think that the lack of horsepower through the rears really left the straights unusable for anything other than driving in a very, very straight line. But it left you with all the clear track or the slick on the corners. It left you a lot of options to set up entry and exit, and have a think about strategy about how you might attack your opponent. So, yeah, it made for quite a unique race.
Any team games afoot today? Obviously, a good points haul for yourself, but also a good points haul over there for Martin.
Yeah, nothing specifically, to be honest. With Braden and myself, we're pretty much out of the running for the win of the championship. So it's all about the fun and hopefully reflected in what went on at the front there at the end. I couldn't get him in the first race. He outdid me. And can I say while I'm here, congratulations to Braden. He's done a lot of Aussie car. That's his first win. Took a dirt oval to get it, but it's his first win. So, big congratulations to him.
We're not going to let that put an asterisk on it, I'm sure.
No, of course not. No, he did really well. He actually had the pace tonight, I think, of the field, and I think it showed. I made a mistake early on that gave him a gap. He made a mistake in the mid stages that brought me back into it. But that was the only reason. I think if it had stayed status quo, he would have won that comfortably. So he was the class of the field tonight and deserved the win that he got. And I really enjoyed the battle in the second race.
And congrats to you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's been a long time coming this season. It's been a rough one, but certainly enjoyed it out there in the dirt.
I look forward to seeing you next week then.
Maybe. We'll see how we go.
Radio. Well, then the race 1 winner and someone who soaked up plenty of the camera time in race 2, Braden Martins with Jason Fields.
Welcome up to the commentary box, Braden. Catch your breath after what was an exciting 66 laps out there. From the moment the lights went green, you took control of this race and looked like you got yourself out to a nice, comfortable little lead until about halfway through the race. There was a little bit of a hiccup. What happened there?
Yeah, just a bit of fatigue, I think, honestly. A bit too much time spent watching the relative and hoping that Alex was staying that sort of 1.1 seconds behind, and then catching up to a bit of lap traffic, and yeah, just a culmination of a few things, but I think mainly just fatigue and exhaustion, to be honest.
Well, once he jumped onto the back of you, it was action aplenty for particularly those last 20-odd laps there tonight. So there was a little bit of under and over happening and some defensive driving, but still plenty of respect being shown between the two of you, which was awesome for us up here in the commentary box and everyone out there watching on Simspeed TV. So amazing effort from the two of you. Look, Alex did make mention that there was some practice going on during the week where you were doing a lot of that side-by-side racing. So obviously that paid off tonight. You knew exactly that you could trust the bloke either on your inside or your outside, and you could circulate without having a worry of someone washing up into the side of you.
Yeah, 100%. I jumped into one of the practice sessions and did the practice race at the end. And yeah, Alex and I had a good couple of battles in there and a little bit in the practice qualifying earlier in the week as well. So it was, yeah, good to know you can trust the other person. And I was kind of thinking as it was going, like, this is going to look pretty cool on the broadcast. So I'm glad it came across that way.
Oh, it was an incredible race tonight. Not only race number 2, but there was plenty of action in race number 1, which of course we want to touch on. Tonight you were qualified up the pointy end on the front row of the grid, and I have a little bit of a sneaking suspicion there was a little bit of drive behind that, maybe.
Yeah, who would have thought I could qualify on pole, hey? Definitely not you, Jason. I don't know why. I had okay pace in the practice sessions we've done. It's not something I've ever done. I haven't really driven any dirt circuits or anything like that. And yeah, I don't know. Just jumped in and things went pretty well. So, you know, the qualifying was pretty tight, I'm pretty sure, from memory. So I don't think there was much in it. But yeah, I'll take a pole. They don't come along every day in this field, that's for sure.
And of course, not only was there a pole, there was a race win there for race number 1 as well. Of course, securing your first race in the Ozicar Skip Barber Series after a number of seasons in the campaign. So that's a little bit of pressure off, I guess. Now you've got your first one under your belt. I'm sure your teammate James Chasanoff will be able to reassure you that they keep coming after that.
Yeah, hopefully. It was a bit 10.5 seasons or something like that. So definitely overdue, I would like to think, but that just goes to show the quality of the field that we run here on a Thursday night. You know, there's so many really, really good drivers that race wins certainly don't come along easy. So yeah, and Chasty sort of went on with it from there. So hopefully I can do the same thing next season. Obviously out of the running of this season due to missing a round, and I probably will still miss another round yet. So that kind of sucks because it seems like everyone's sort of had a bad round so far, and the only bad round I've really had is the one that I didn't show up to. So I'd probably be mixing it up sort of for a podium spot overall, I think, if I'd managed to get here, but that's all right. Swings and roundabouts.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely had the luck of all the luck against you last season, where you had showed plenty of pace and great speed, but just happened to get caught up in a lot of incidences. And this season here, you've really shown that you're got the speed and the consistency to run with the top guys, and of course 2 podiums tonight secures that. So I'll throw the mic over to you if you want to say thank you to any of your sponsors or any shout out to anyone else out there at the moment.
Yeah, just really quickly, I want to say hello to David, because I did tell him that every time I ever get into the box, I always end up second. I never get to talk to him. So hello, David. Hope you're going well. Shout out to the Locked On lads for all the support. It's a really great Discord and really great group of guys to race with. CD Cinematography, Clayton Davies running in the Pro Series at the moment for Dirt, which is pretty cool. I probably should have got some extra tips from him. I might have had that extra 10th to beat Alex tonight. 24/7 Race Control, driversclub.net.au, and brewster.coffee. And you guys, of course, for the awesome broadcast. I'm definitely going to look forward to watching this one tonight.
Yeah, of course. The racing on track tonight just makes our job easier and actually makes us look good. So the effort that the drivers have put in tonight with all the practice leading into this dirt event put on an absolutely stellar showcase performance here tonight. So congratulations on some great results. I'm sure you'll hopefully carry them on for the remainder of the season for the events that you can make. Big congratulations. And hopefully you'll come back bigger and better, and we'll see you up on the pointy end of the podium again.
Yes, thanks guys. Have a good night.
Get out of here, you dweeb. There we go. Okay.
And stay out.
Oh no. Well, for everything you've been saying, he's gonna be back. So we'll wait and see on that one. Remaining 2 remaining rounds of the championship after this, and then of course Ozicar Skip Barber Series is very much looking like a going concern after 11 very strong seasons. Let's get to the action man of race number 2. Says here, 16 positions gained for you, Mr. Doyle.
Yeah, that was a bit crazy. After the first one, but I just thought I'd put my head down and pin it and see what I could do.
Looked like early in the races, you made some passes, but passing didn't look necessarily easy. As it went on, it almost looked like, 2 lines were more viable than, the first 20 laps.
Yeah. I found a line and I sort of just stuck to it, and then, eventually it worked out. So, but no, that was a great race.
Toughest person to pass, because you certainly, went up and down while you were part of that battle pack between, 3rd and 8th or something. Everyone wanted a piece of that.
Everyone wanted it. Chastity wanted a piece, John wanted a piece, Clark wanted a piece, I think Bush wanted a piece. And once I got behind him, I thought, right, let's do that again. Let's see what I can do, and just make my way through and sneak those little spots in, and every spot counts.
All sort of started with that battle for 3rd and 4th. They were going side by side, and it let people like you and it let people like Ben Snell close up. You ever worried that side by side battling would just invite more to the party?
It does, but I sort of have confidence in the boys in that sort of little tight group that we're up the front, that they hold their line. So if you can hold your line, you seem to go all right.
I don't want to pick the scabs off wounds that might have healed, but tell me your perspective on race number 1.
Oh, look, I there was a little bit of a brake check ahead of me, and then unfortunately, Ben Snell hit me, but I copped the black flag, so I don't know how that works. But anyway, it's over and done with. I got a third in the second, so I'm happy with that. Coming from 18th or whatever it was, good result.
And I think your biggest fan in the YouTube chat is still your biggest fan, so I think everything will be all right at the end of the day.
Oh, mate, she loves me. She's a good sport. She loves you guys. She's always tunes in, mate. She's a good crowd.
Yeah, no doubt. Simspeed's number 1 fan. Sean Doyle's number 1 fan. Shout out to the Donna Doyle. Yeah. Any shout outs you've got to give, Sean?
Yeah, mate. Look, I'd love to thank John and Bobby over at LS Speed Shop, all the boys, Barra and all that, over at White Knuckle Racing, especially me mum and me partner, mate, and all you guys are putting on a great broadcast.
There you have it, Sean Doyle, biggest mover of the feature race, the excitement machine, and shout out to all the mums out there.
Yeah.
Let's look forward then to round number 5. That's next week at Brands Hatch. It's going to be different to USA on the dirt, but I think it could still be very good. The Ozicar Skip Barber Series action as you're used to seeing it in this UK season. A track with a lot of history, some tight sections and some faster flowing bits over the hills and crests in the far side of the circuit. Join us on Simspeed TV for that. Same time next Thursday. I've been David Haynes, Jason Fewens with me, Jay Kennedy on the production. What a great time we've had playing in the dirt. See you next week.
fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney! Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up there. Oh my God! Big crash. Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Six very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God!
God, what?